All right. Sorry, I missed the first part. Okay, I'm going to stop this poll, and then you may see another. Here, I can share the results. So what you can see is 71% of us has a native language of English. We got 12% Spanish, 12% other, 6% Chinese. Very interesting. I think I had more questions. Oh, RESNA member. There you go. Are you a RESNA member? Pretty evenly split. 47% yes, 53% no. That's very cool. And we're very fortunate in the International SIG not to require RESNA membership. Where do you live? Very interesting. So the biggest percentage is North America, 65%. Europe and Africa are tied at 12%. Asia, 6%. Thank you to Europe. Those of you participating from Europe and Africa, it's much later there. 6% Central South America. No one from Australia. It's in the middle of the night. And no one from Antarctica. Will you attend the 2019 RESNA conference in Toronto? 41% yes, 47% no, 12% unsure. Very interesting. I'm impressed with myself that I could actually do that. The next, so number of attendees is now 21. What did I tell you? And you're welcome to, excuse me, at any time you can use the chat if you'd like to say something about yourself to everyone. Otherwise, at the end of the meeting, we're going to try to go through and give everyone an opportunity to speak. Let me run through our business meeting now. Old business, the SIG activity since we last met. We have translated, I think it's 6 RESNA position papers to Spanish. Thank you for the people who volunteered and helped with that. We created a Spanish language recruitment brochure. Thank you to those that helped with that. Yikun, Yohali, and I have participated in monthly SIG and PSG meetings, not all 3 of us at once. We have coordinated with Abridef, the Brazilian sort of equivalent of RESNA, and trying to set up a training and a certification event this year. I'm on the ISWP Professional Standards Board, and we tried to coordinate with ISWP and with the WHO Gate Initiative. We had the breakfast at the Pittsburgh ISS, and that was very interesting. We had good turnout, 140 people, and we've created the 24/7 Posture Management Committee, which you'll be hearing more about shortly. We have the RESNA annual conference coming up. Almost half of us plan to attend. Surprisingly, it's in Toronto, June 25, 27. There will be a SIG meeting, all the SIG meetings, but this SIG will meet at 7 a.m. Set your alarm for Thursday morning. We'll talk about the 24/7 Posture Committee. We should have elections for SIG chairs. And those of you who are going, the RESNA welcome team is available. If you want to let me know, my email's down here at the bottom. If you want help or any kind of assistance at that conference, please let me know, and I will make sure you get it. The last old business, we formed the 24/7 Posture Committee. Tamara is chair of that. She's done a wonderful job. And now let me find Tamara among our 22 participants. And unless you, here we go, Tamara. I will unmute you, and please tell us about the 24/7 Posture Management Committee.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Perry, for giving this opportunity. Many of you have already responded to me by email. I now have over 70 people who have responded with interest. This came about in a sort of an odd way. A couple of colleagues and I have been talking for more than a year, wishing that we could have some sort of organization, organize a group that would have some sort of professional linkage around this topic that we all feel passionate about, which is 24/7 posture management. So I shared a little bit about this with the work of Eleanor's project at the meeting that Perry was mentioning at ISS. And after that, I responded to an email he sent out, asked him if he would have any ideas about how we might get a group going. And here we are today. He's been really encouraging. I've had a little bit of email interaction with Mary Ellen, with Emma Smith, the Super SIG chair, and we decided to go ahead and try incubating this little committee within the International Special Interest Group. Basically, things are pretty open at this point. Our goal is, I would say, to promote awareness, use, and study of 24-hour posture management for assistive technology users with motor impairments that affect their mobility. And that affects a whole lot of people that all of us are interested in. By 24-hour posture management, for those of you if it's a new concept, we're really talking about addressing the 3 human postural orientations that all of us have: lying, sitting, and standing. As the state of affairs is now, sitting and standing gets most of the attention, but lying is actually the very first one that all of us experience developmentally. And there are many people who need incredible amounts of help in order to achieve sitting and aren't even able to achieve standing. So we're really wanting to look at all these postural orientations and how we might be able to prevent, limit, and sometimes even correct the complications that arise when people are in poor, misaligned, asymmetrical, habitual postures for long periods of time. Our activities, I think, are going to be decided on by the members. We have quite a variety of people who've emailed me with interest. Some are people with a lot of experience in this area and a lot to share. Some of them are people who are interested, but they're just beginning, or they don't know very much, but they want to know more. Everybody is welcome. We've thrown around some ideas of possible activities, nothing decided at this point. We need to meet to figure some of that out. Some of us have talked about a consensus statement, if that could be a possible outgrowth, maybe a position paper someday, webinars, sharing resources. For example, perhaps people with library access could share things with people who don't have library access. I do have 3 vice chairs. Silvana is here on the call. I think I saw her name. Silvana Cantapomi in Argentina. Leanne Hoffman, if she's not on the call yet, she will be. And Trish Toole, who is currently living in Australia and therefore is asleep. But Trish is going to be hosting another version of this meeting during waking hours for people in Australia and Asia. Silvana has kindly agreed to do a similar thing for people in South America that will be in Spanish to encourage more participation. And Leanne, who originally hails from South Africa, told me that she would try and figure something out for those folks. So that's about all I have to say at this point. Our meeting is going to be our first posture 24/7 Posture Management Committee meeting is going to be on May 23rd, which is a Thursday. I would like to have it at 5 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I live in Montana, so that's my time zone. Trying to shift it a little later in the day to make it possible for some people in some different time zones to be able to meet with us a little bit more easily. So if you can put that on your calendar, that would be great. That's it.
Thank you, Tamara. That's wonderful, and it's a great initiative you've begun. Glad there's a lot of interest. New business. We'll get through our new business, and then we're going to open it up. I would like request. I am requesting volunteers to help with several things. The first is to update the SIG homepage. That big long address you're seeing is the homepage itself. Please email me at the email down at the bottom right if you're willing to help with that. Shouldn't take a lot of time. It's mostly bringing it up to up to date. Second new business. Oh, this could be an interesting one. Many of you are familiar with Mark Schmeller's functional mobility assessment. I will be heading a group that will implement the functional mobility assessment in Latin America. We'll be starting soon, but I need help for this. Already got some people interested, and I appreciate that. We need more. So again, if you could email me, perry@lowmedical.com, if you're interested in this, if you're aware of this, this is a wonderful outcomes measurement system. It's currently active in the US. So once we start gathering data in Latin America, and if you're interested in other parts of the world, let me know as well. I can help you get it started elsewhere as well. We'll have good data to try to do lobbying, convince funding sources that what we do actually has value. I need a volunteer. This is a more generic one. Funds are available in different sources to, for example, help students attend RESNA conferences and for other purposes. So someone who's interested in digging and asking questions and giving me a hand with this, I would appreciate it. Again, send me an email and let's see if we can get some money here. I had asked for ideas prior to this meeting. John Proman sent an idea about sharing volunteer opportunities in less resourced countries. He mentioned that we used to have student design competitions. Again, if someone, I'm not familiar with that, but if someone is and can help, please send me an email. He asked that we spread the word about ISWP information and sources and their integration tool. That's great, and they're starting up their credentialing process. And finally, a group discussion. Now is the time. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and you should be able to see whoever's on. If you don't have your camera on, if you've got one, turn it on. And any comments, any ideas, any new business, any comments on Mary Ellen's welcome, or Tamara is welcome. If you cannot unmute yourself by putting your cursor over your picture, then let me know in the chat and I will unmute you.
Hi, Perry. I thought I would say something first about the student design competition. That's a very active part of the RESNA conference, and I would hope that everyone knows something about it. It's a competition open to students who are studying assistive technology or rehab engineering or some other form of support for those who use assistive technology. Often the competitors in this student design competition are engineering students, but there have been other disciplines represented in that as well. There's prize money, there's support for going to the conference and paying for your registration and your hotel stay. So if you didn't know about it for this year, it's important to know about it for next year when the conference will be in Washington, D.C. And there will be plenty of information about it. There's a whole set of expectations about the kind of ideas that are good, how to submit them. They have their own special deadline that's apart from the regular poster presentation and position and platform session presentation that happen at RESNA. So I encourage all of you who know young and aspiring people to encourage that particular participation in RESNA. You don't have to be a RESNA member to participate either. Any questions?
Come on, you shy people. You're not shy in person. I know that.
I wondered if the student competition is open to people from other countries.
I don't know of any reason why it's not that it would not be. One of the organizers of this particular event is Emma Smith, who lives in Canada. So it's not. I don't think it's ever been expected that it would be only Americans or North Americans.
Would any of that the funds that Perry mentioned, people going after, be able to help get them to RESNA if they were coming in from, like, say, Kenya?
Each of the special interest groups within RESNA has a budget, and the budget, there's a time of the year when you can submit your request for the budget. And if the international SIG wanted to have an amount of money, say, $500 that could be used to bring 1 or 2 students to the United States for the conference, that's an option. It just needs to be justified. And of course, it's worth looking at.
Thank you.
Raj, many of you know Raj, really tall guy. He has got a lot of ideas. I think there are more sources of funds than we think and we know. That's why I'm asking for help, digging, asking questions like we're asking Mary Ellen now. And obviously, internationally, a lot of our people need help if we want to bring them to a conference or to do anything, to have any kind of resources. Any other comments, ideas?
I have hello, Perry and everybody. I'm Silvana. I have one idea. You were asking for people to get the FMA in Latin America. Mark Schmeller or somebody from his team is coming to the Latin American Sitting Symposium next June, and they're going to talk again because it has been in other symposiums he talked about it, but he will talk about the FMA. So I think that would be a good opportunity to tell them about this need of getting some therapists with this project of checking the FMA in Spanish, and I'm sure you can get people from the lab to that project. So that would be to take advantage of that opportunity.
Excellent. I'll do that. That's a wonderful idea.
Okay.
Anything else?
I just want to say I'm very excited about the 24/7 posture thing because it's something that isn't super expensive and can reduce disability. So I'm real excited about how that might be implemented in places where there's clinics in low and middle income countries.
Thank you, Karen. That was what actually, that's my passion as well, as you know. And with the work that we've been doing in Peru, since 2012, our partners in Peru have implemented this, integrated together with a wheelchair provision service. And it's just really been exciting to see how this has developed in a less resourced area and how interested families have been in trying to do this for their family members. It's something that they can do. Once they understand some principles and have some guidance, it's really empowering. I think it has huge potential. My personal conviction is that every place in the world, everybody should have access to this information. So I'm excited for this committee to be starting.
Lovely.
Can I ask a question? It's Shona here from Cape Town in South Africa.
Go ahead. Nice to hear you, Shona.
You can't see us all nodding our heads. Go ahead.
I've been really interested to know who's part of this group, and I would really like to know if we could possibly all share a short summary of our interest in 24-hour posture management and how how it connects to what we do and we're interested in, so that we can start making more meaningful conversations with each other.
You know, Shona, that's a great idea. What we could do now, there are 23 of us. Would it be useful? What do you guys think? Should we each do a brief introduction, who we are, and maybe what our interest is and where we are located?
I think that's a good idea, Perry. And Shona, I'd just like to say, too, I hope that you can join us on May 23rd, if the timing works out right as well, because I'm thinking that we may have even more people interested in joining the group by then, to be able to share more about ourselves and our interests. So I hope you can join us.
Yeah, and it would be really nice if that could be documented somewhere, like posted somewhere, that new people joining would immediately have some background about who was in the group and what their interests were.
That's a great idea. I like it.
Does
We can
this
figure out a way to do that, I think.
I mean, if we could all send in a short bio of what our specific interest is and who we work with and why we're doing it and what we want to achieve.
The special interest groups in RESNA that are open for members only all have listservs that allow people to do this, to communicate. Perry, does this group have a listserv?
We do. We use it extensively. And of course, I have the membership list, but it's not detailed. It does not list where each of us live, our credentials, what our interests are.
But each participant in this SIG could send a message to the group, one message that would go to everyone, and then everyone would get that message, and you could either archive them or communicate back with the individual who has an interest that's relevant to you.
I'll follow up on that. I have that task, and we'll implement Shona's idea, not just for the 27 committee, but I'll ask through the listserv everyone to send a brief bio. We've done this before, and those who are interested can participate.
I have a question. I recently got in touch with the people at the London School of Health and Tropical Medicine, and they have a really neat program for reducing disability in children with cerebral palsy that's meant to be parent-led, that has some overlap with this focus, it seems to me. And I was wondering if it might be good to connect up with the folks there so that this initiative is also on their list of resources and so on.
Please make the connection, Karen.
I'll try to do that.
Oh, and did we all see the group chat that's here from Emma Stevens? She has just sent a message to all of us. I invited her to be part of this group. And she's just saying that she'll be trying to join us on May 23rd.
Yohali said that we can use Google Docs. I'll look into that as well, Yohali. Thank you for this, for the bio exchange. Any other comments? This is a unique time to share.
I would like to know, amongst the people who are here on this call today, if you would like to participate in the meeting that Trish will be leading from Australia, if that might be an easier time zone for you. Perhaps just shoot me an email and let me know. I want to give her a list of all of the people that she could email to tell them when she's going to be doing that.
I imagine we could maybe add people to that list who might be interested from places we know in Africa or Asia too.
Yeah, I've already gotten a couple of Karen, from people that you spread the word to.
Okay.
So I'm going to run down the list here. I don't think the lists are in the same order in each of our screens, but from people we haven't heard from, Marietta, are you interested in unmuting yourself and letting us know a little about you?
Hi, my name is Marita Dawson. I'm actually working with Shona in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm a physiotherapist by profession, but now working for Shona Quip in the Oambu, Shona Quip Social Enterprise, and to do with 24-hour positioning and inclusion of people with disabilities in society.
Thank you. Sarah?
Hi there. Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm a physio and I'm based in the UK and I'm here. I think it was, oh, crumbs, I've forgotten. But I also feel that I would like everybody in the world to know about the value of lying support in particular. I'm totally bought into 24/7, but that's where my particular interest is at the moment. And I'm particularly interested in stories of success and gathering evidence in different countries. I think it's much easier when it feels more real if you've got evidence from your own country.
Thank you, Sarah. Excellent. Sharmini?
Hi, my name is Shamini Constantinescu, and I am joining this call from Brampton, Ontario, Canada. I'm working for Disability Development Organization. Some of you may know us as DDO. We are working in several areas, but pertaining to this meeting, we are also looking to kind of supply products in mostly in developing context, developing country context, and we are looking for gaps in the market as to what kind of products are in need. We have come across this 24/7 postural support need some time ago, and when I went to India last year, January, we had a product that we took and showed around, and people were quite keen. So I'm hoping to get as much input as possible so that we can supply something which is needed and affordable. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharmini. Janet?
Hello, I'm Janet Figueroa. I am Mexican living in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm an ATP and I work with Law Medical, with Perry Law. And here in Brazil, we represent different assistive technology equipment, and we sell to the government, to distributors, and to some direct hospitals and institutions, both public and private. And I'm really interested in learning more of the challenges that each one of you have in your own micro world regarding the same objective of improving the people's life of people with disabilities.
Thank you. If you look in your chat, you'll see M. Wagner introducing, I'm not sure, himself or herself?
That's Mary Jo. I know Mary.
Mary
I know Jo. Yeah. So,
wonderful. Thank you, Mary Jo. Charlie? We'll skip Charlie. Pam? Naomi.
Hi, this is Naomi. I'm from Jerusalem, Israel. I'm an occupational therapist. I work at a pediatric rehabilitation hospital. My specialty is power mobility, but I see and work with children, and 24/7 is something that we do all the time as part of our daily routine as occupational therapists and physical therapists. So thank you for letting me join.
Thank you, Naomi. Charlie, you're unmuted. You can come in at any time.
Fantastic. Thank you. Is it clear? Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Great. So my name is Charlie Raphael. I am the Director of Certification and Education with RESNA, and I've had the pleasure of working with you, Perry, in some of these international efforts that you've mentioned. From my perspective, just kind of new business or updates for anybody on the phone, to whatever extent it strikes a chord in a positive way. On the education side of bringing RESNA and the ATP around the world, some of the exciting things that we already have in the works. Coming up in July, I have a team of instructors headed to Singapore to give a 3-day class that's going to cover the ATP fundamentals, the credential, as well as applying it to cultural and regionally specific case studies. We just received a grant in which we'll be going to do a class in Ethiopia this year. And that date is still to be determined. It could be July or it could be in September. So those are two definitive events we have in different countries in which we can spread the word and the credential and what RESNA is doing. I'm also working on something in the UK as well for the fourth quarter. So there's a lot happening on this side, and it's always exciting, and I'm ecstatic to just be able to sit in on this call and hear about the different things. So thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. We'll do David and then Courtney, and you can see in the task or in the chat from the bio from Sudhakar in India. I've unmuted David and Courtney. If either of you want to speak.
Yes. Hi, my name is Courtney Reed, and I'm a Doctor of Occupational Therapy student from Davenport, Iowa, is where I attend school. And I'm currently on my doctoral experiential component in Alexandria, Louisiana. And my topic of work is on therapeutic nighttime positioning as part of 24-hour postural care. And can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Perfect.
And we like what we're hearing, Courtney.
Yeah, so I'm very excited that I'm a part of this group. And so it's been great listening to everyone, but I'm very passionate as well of 24-hour postural care, but really that therapeutic nighttime positioning. Like you guys said, it's equipment's easily attainable, it can be low cost, and it's just so great. The outcomes I've seen are amazing. Both on a professional and a personal side. So it's great. So looking forward to being a part of the committee.
Thank you. Folks, with that, I am going to show you my last slides, if I can figure out how to do it. So our next meeting will be in Toronto. I have an open question. You can answer this to the listserv or an email to me. How often you want to hold these kind of meetings? It's fascinating for me. Is it worth everyone's time? We've already have volunteers to do it in other time zones, and we could certainly do this in other languages. English is not the only language in the world, and you can be the host. I'm happy to pass on any of the materials we have or information. With that, I'd like to say we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Perry.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.